Dr. Gary Smart is our special musician this morning. Thank you so much. This service is dedicated to justice and equity, and Gary is starting us with Blowing in the Wind. This song was prominent during the Civil Rights Movement and the Vietnam War. May the questions of this song spur us to create spaces for justice and equity. Opening words come from Reverend Tess Baumberger. Let us make this earth a heaven. Let us make this earth a heaven, right here, right now. Who knows what existence's death will bring? Let us create a heaven here on earth where love and truth and justice reign. Let us welcome all at our pearly gates, our freedom table, and singing and great rejoicing. Black, white, yellow, red, and all our lovely colors. Straight, lesbian, gay, bisexual, queer, questioning, cisgender, transgendered, non-binary, gender, non-conforming, healthy, sick, hurting, variously abled, young, old, cranky, joyous, sorrowing. Let no one feel excluded. Let no one feel alone. May all have enough to meet their needs. May all share power generously. May all venerate the earth, our mother. Gosh, okay. I'm going to stop there. I'd like to invite our choir and singing group, and let us rise in body and our spirit from our great hymnal, sing hymn number 347, Gather the Spirit. Welcome. Good morning and welcome to the weekly service of Buckman Bridge Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Claudia Marshall and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist service. What has drawn me to Unitarian Universalism is that we all have different beliefs, but the shared values. Our principles that promote justice and equity for all people, regardless of gender and or sexual orientation. We are first Unitarian Universalists. And at the same time, we may also be agnostic, Buddhist, Christian, Hindu, humanist, Jewish, Muslim, pagan, atheists, believers in God, and those who just let the great mystery be. The diversity of all the beliefs you'll find in a Unitarian Universalist community is one of our strengths. We're always learning to see the world from a different perspective. If you are here today as a guest or newcomer, we are so glad that you are here and hope you'll stay with us for the fellowship after the service. You'll find coffee, other beverages, and snacks at the pass-through windows in the back. Be sure to wear your name tag so that we can warmly welcome and greet you by name. It's a great time for meeting friends and welcoming and sharing conversations. Please stop by our welcome table also if you haven't done so already. There you can find information about our church and our denomination. If you want further information, we have regularly scheduled Learn About UU and Learn About BBUUC classes year-round. If you have any questions or needs, please don't hesitate to ask any of our members. They will assist you or direct you to somebody who can best answer your question. If you're interested in becoming a member, you can check in with the folks at the welcome table who are happy to talk with you about a path to membership. Please get to know us here because there are many ways to get involved, and we hope that you will find our beloved community is a home for you. Now, please silence your phone for the remainder of the service, and please open your order of the service as we recite together our congregational covenant. After that, we're going to sing our call to worship. We covenant to engage one another with honesty, kindness, and respect, to value diversity, seek understanding of our differences, and practice gracious accountability with love, care, and empathy. We make these promises to those who are here and those yet to come, so that we may be a safe, welcoming, and beloved community of acceptance, learning, and transformation. If you are able, in spirit or body, please rise and we'll sing our call to worship. I'd like to ask Donna Zimmerman to come and light our chalice this morning. We light this flame to ignite the sacred power of justice. We light this flame so that it may be a beacon of hope in moments of uncertainty, fear, anxiety, and the unknown. We light this flame and are emboldened by its blaze, knowing our strength as a prophetic and powerful people is rooted in the diverse ways we answer the call to love. Thank you. Every week, we have an opportunity to give into this community that we love, to meet the needs of a world that needs our resources, to bring about the fruition of our committees and ministries. May we joyfully give into this work and welcome the chance to give. You may place your offering in the basket, or you can scan the barcode and with your phone and donate online. Donate online, oh my gosh. However you give, we thank you for supporting our work in this UU community. I now call on Ted Clisby and Bruce Crystal, who will pass the baskets. Afterwards, we'll rise and sing hymn 123, Spirit of Light. There's a little correction to our program. We're going to watch a video that our speaker, JeKaren Olaoya, wanted us to preview her sermon. I kind of called it Starting With. She didn't really have a title with it. Afterwards, Gary's going to perform We Shall Overcome. And that's a beloved song of movements all over the world. It's truly inspiring. I hope you enjoy it.
Start here. I'm starting with love. I'm starting with breath. I'm starting with stretching my body that carries me despite the aches. I'm starting with a hand over my heart. I'm starting with forgiveness. I'm starting with a clean slate. I'm starting with a cup of tea and a crisp new page. I'm starting with a tearful release. I'm starting with wind on my face and gratitude on my lips. I'm starting with my eyes up, not down. Today, life is calling me to take my own path, go at my own pace, stop when needed. Notice the signs, people, and sights meant for me. Today, life is calling me to show up. And I take this brave step by declaring, love is where I'm starting. May it also be where I am going. Love is the way. This is an excerpt from Soul Shift, The Weary Human's Guide to Getting Unstuck and Reclaiming Your Path to Joy by Rachel Macy Stafford.
JeKaren Olaoya serves our Unitarian Universalist faith as a UU Board of Trustees member. She is a proud graduate of Starr King Scholar for the Ministry and a candidate for UU Ministry. Her ministry exists at the powerful intersection of ancestry, healing, justice, liberation, and creative expression. And she's an author. You'll find out more about her on our webpage. Please welcome JeKaren Olaoya. Her sermon is Presence is a Gift.
When you hear the word chaplain, what comes to mind? Do you think of hospitals, hospice, last rites, illness, crisis of faith? You wouldn't be wrong. That has been the traditional model of chaplaincy forever. It has largely been up to the parish minister to hold the people in the congregation, and chaplains are who you see just before the end. But things are changing. I won't bore you with a lot of statistics, but I will share this one. Americans' membership in houses of worship has been declining year over year. In 2020, 47% of Americans said they belonged to a church, synagogue, or mosque, down from 50% in 2018 and 70% in 1999. There are lots of reasons why this decline is happening, but the why is not so important. Many would disagree with me. I mean, if we know why, we can stop it from happening, right? Turn the tide. Bring everyone back, even if it's kicking and screaming. We know that's not the way, but we also know that the gift of faith in communities saves lives. Saves lives. While hiking on a local trail, I ran into someone I didn't know, and we started chatting, and after telling her that I'm a community chaplain, she had some ideas about organized religion. Sometimes I really dread this conversation because I feel obligated to share all the wonderful things about organized religion, even on days when I feel chewed up by it. But I don't believe in false positivity, so I have to be honest, good or bad. But she beat me to it. She started to share her story. One filled with one too many drinks, experimentations with things she couldn't name, a spiral she did not think she would ever get out of. She ended up in the apartment of a stranger one Saturday night and was awakened by what she called the voice of angels. We don't talk a lot about angels in Unitarian Universalism, but she lit up when she talked about them, and I was enamored. She got up, she stumbled outside and realized that the apartment building was next to a church. She went in and the angels were the choir, singing with their whole hearts. She said that she felt out of place, not really dressed to be in a church, so she slipped into the back to watch and listen. The music was loud, and she remembered that she was so grateful because it drowned out the noise in her head. At some point, she closed her eyes, and when she opened them, there was a little care package sitting beside her. A note welcoming her, a list of their support groups, a bottle of water, a blanket, and a couple of snacks. She laughs as she tells this story, remembering that she couldn't remember the last time she drank water. This isn't a story about how she cleaned up her act in that moment and joined the church. It took her a little while, and she didn't go back to that church, but she tells me that that moment at that church gave her hope that she could one day feel worthy of belonging in a community like this one. That allowed her to be bedraggled, that allowed her to feel lost, that would welcome her to rest, to feel, to be. She did tell me the story of how she eventually got clean, which I won't share in great detail. It's a long story and totally not the point of this sermon today. But she got herself together while working at a local animal shelter. After a particularly awful case of abuse, a chaplain was called in to support the staff. There in the tiny office of that animal shelter, she sat with the chaplain and poured out her heart. She said she used the whole tissue box. And after, the chaplain called a friend who got her into a treatment facility. And that day on the trail had been the anniversary of her sobriety, 15 years. I wasn't supposed to be on that trail that day. I love to hike, and when I was younger, I did it a lot more, but my fear of snakes had been realized one too many times, and I never went out alone. But this day, I needed to be outside. I needed to look at new trees and feel the wind and melt a little bit in the heat of the Georgia sun. So I went alone, and I said a prayer that I would not see any snakes. This story shared with me on this day was exactly what I needed to hear in this moment, to be reminded of how community can save us, how being present can save someone else beyond the walls. That day on the trail, I listened. I'm always listening. If I make eye contact with a stranger, it's like an open invitation to pour out their life story. When I was younger, it was so hard. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to set boundaries. And so I would avoid eye contact and connections in hopes that it would help. Sometimes it worked, but mostly it didn't. Now, as I grow and learn to become a minister, I see the desire to be heard everywhere, the desire to be connected, the desire to be treated with dignity and respect everywhere, while sweeping the floor or picking up trash, while waiting for the bus, on a train, in line at the grocery store, on a plane, everywhere. My loudest call to ministry, to chaplaincy, came to me outside of a police station in San Diego. I was there marching with thousands of others in a call to abolish ICE, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement. ICE has had a stronghold on San Diego because it's a major border city. I was there as a representative of BLUE, Black Lives of Unitarian Universalism. And for some reason, someone thought I was a minister because I was there with ministers. You know that old saying, you are who you surround yourself with? I was invited to offer pastoral care with the reverends and the rabbis, intent on holding space as our people were released from jail. I remember taking the opportunity to ask questions of the reverends and rabbis about their calling. As people started to be released, we welcomed them. We said prayers. We offered to listen. They were mostly tired, but I can imagine it was nice to see friendly faces. And mixed in were other people who were being released, and they too were offered care. In those few hours, standing and waiting, then offering to listen, made me realize how few the opportunities are to share deeply, to have a space held for you. Too often, the messages that people with marginalized identities are given is that we are too much, that we are not worth hearing, that we are not worthy of voice. Others speak for us, others speak over us. When given the opportunity to be heard, we freeze, we stumble, we defer to others. Justice and equity become real when the least of us can find their voice and be heard. Right now, it's just an idea. We dream of a world where we are liberated through love, a love of self and place for everyone we encounter. We dream now, but we can live this. We have come far enough that this particular dream is obtainable. I want you to think about this and share with someone sitting beside you. I want you to think of one way you can be present for someone else this week. Just one thing. One. And I will give you 1 minute to share with your partner, and then you'll switch and the other person will have 1 minute. If you're online or on your own, write it down. Start now. All right. Thank you. You can come back now. What did you notice about what you heard from your partner, if you had one? What came up in your own offering? Did you decide to do something complicated? Easy? Where did you feel the idea in your body? Did it feel joyful? Dreadful? There are no wrong answers. As a matter of fact, this won't feel easy to think about or to do. We are stretching ourselves just a little bit to step outside of ourselves, to bring an idea into practical application. This idea that justice and equity are removed from us is a mistake. That they lie in courtrooms and legislation, that it's someone else's job to make it happen. Nothing happens unless we do it in small moments that propel us toward big moments. It is not only our responsibility to do everything we can to be present for others, it is our moral duty to show up, to be reminders that none of us is alone in this world and that we are stronger together. One of my favorite books on listening is called The Wisdom of Listening, and it is a compilation of essays and advice about listening. And there's one chapter in particular called Listening with Presence, Awareness, and Love by Christine Loniger. Christine says, listen with your body, your heart, your eyes, your energy, your total presence. Listen in silence without interrupting. Fill any spaces of silence between you with love, with silent permission for the other person to go on and to go deeper. We all have the capacity to listen and hold space, to be chaplains in the world, to create sacred moments wherever we are. That is our power, and that is the gift of justice and equity. May it be so. Amen.
We're going to ask our choir singing group come forward as we are going to sing hymn number 407. We're going to sit at the welcome table, and we're going to sing all 3 verses. course it went off. Okay, call back Donna to extinguish our chalice. It's by Justice is Our Prayer by Rebecca Savage. We have come to the end of our service, but not our calling in the world. May we close our time together with humble reminder that justice and equity are our spiritual practices to embrace each day, every day. We are blessed to be the embodiment of what is possible when justice and equity ground us in all that we do. May we go forth with a light and warmth until we are together again.